Greetings, this is the Crunchy Fan. Today, this will be part 4 to what if female deku was albedo. So, if I remember correctly, last time we left off, we were just about to get into the fight at the end of the sports festival with Momo and albedo. So, I'll just be covering that for this part, and then next part I will get into the internships. So if this video is a bit shorter than the other albedo videos, that's going to be why, because I can't come up with much details for the fights. As both albedo and Momo walk up to the stage, the crowd is cheering for the two finalists of the sports festival as the match begins. Momo charges up 20% of One For All, as albedo then begins to charge towards Momo, as Momo does the same after charging up 20% of One For All. As when they sort of like collide into each other, it then, due to it being like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, it produces a shockwave which shakes the area. As Momo then tries to go for an uppercut, as albedo stops it and then kicks her right in the side of the head, with Momo losing her balance for a bit before correcting herself, and then punching albedo in the abdomen, which actually causes Momo's hand to hurt a lot more than the damage that it did to albedo. As when she punches Momo, she then punches Momo in the gut when she's nearly sent out of the ring. As when Momo's nearly sent out of the ring, this is when Momo unlocks Black Whip, which essentially sticks itself into the ground to stop her from flying out of the ring. As when albedo sees this, she gets a little smile, knowing that this is going to be an interesting fight. As when they charge at each other again, they then Momo actually flips over albedo and then hits her in the back of the head with a 20% Detroit Smash, which does send albedo forward a bit, but not too much. As they both get their weapons, with albedo summoning her axe, with Momo summoning a bow staff. As when they're fighting, a lot of the pro heroes are booing albedo for using an actual weapon in a fight, and Azawa then just shuts that down by pointing out that the bladed part of the axe is dulled down so that it won't actually injure somebody. And after that gets shut down, everybody is continuing to watch the fight, with Momo and albedo continuing to, I guess you would call it a duel at this point, as there's a clear skill deck gap between albedo and Momo in the weaponry category, with albedo basically knocking Momo's bow staff out of her hand, and then hitting Momo with the back of the axe, essentially sending her flying. And then Momo then creates some ice picks and then just slams them into the ground to stop her from falling out. With her then using Black Whip to wrap up Albedo, and then throw her into the ground, which does cause a crater in the arena. And with this, Albedo does find difficulty getting back up, but then hold on, give me a minute. With her then charging back at Momo with a punch right to the jaw. Now, this isn't like a love tap type thing. No, this is a full-blown punch, which does send Momo flying a bit. And she almost falls out of bounds from that. Momo almost falls out of bounds from that punch, with Albedo standing there preparing for a final strike on Momo. And Momo does the same, as both of them are generating larger and larger amounts of power, with Albedo going all out and Momo charging up 100% of One for All. With Cementos and Midnight seeing that they're probably going to end up killing each other, they then try to do the same thing that they did with Todoroki and Izuku's fight in the cannon, but that doesn't really work out, as when they both fly into each other, with Momo using One for All and Albedo using her wings, there's a large explosion that happens in the middle of it, with smoke coating the entirety of the arena. And as the smoke ends up clearing from the battlefield, they find Momo standing in the arena with Albedo being knocked out of bounds, and Momo being declared the winner of the sports festival. And then All Might comes down and gives them their awards, with All Might saying that if Albedo trains harder the next time, then she'll probably win the next time. And with Momo, he says that she done well and that she's deserving of first place. And everybody cheers from that, and then after the events of the festival, they then get to choose their internships, with Albedo going with Midnight's agency. If you remember from last part, Albedo and Midnight are dating, and Momo going with the internship she went with in actually she goes to Gran Torino. And Ida then goes to Manuel this again, but this one Stain moved from Hosu, so the whole Hosu City incident thing with Stain won't happen. But the entirety of the Hosu City incident with the Nomas attacking will happen still. And I guess I can just... I'm going to continue for a bit longer. As once they arrived at their internships, Albedo is then greeted by Midnight in Midnight's office, with a hug and a kiss on the lips. As Midnight said that she was quite impressed with her performance during the sports festival. with Albedo stating that wasn't that much of a problem. And Midnight says, "Alright, get into your hero uniform, we're going out on patrol." And that is where I'll leave it. I do hope you enjoyed this part. I'm sorry if it isn't as long as the other ones, it's just I had to use most of my brain power to get into detail about the fight. So I'll see you guys in the next part, and I'll be uploading part 3 to What If Female Deku with Apollyon later today.